Yo, what is up, y'all? It's Sean, and today we're breaking down a platform that has become, a major player in modern web deployments. Listen, today we're talking about Vercel, and if you're building, websites or apps today, especially with JavaScript frameworks, you've probably came across Vercel. But what exactly is it? How does it work? And is it worth your time in 2026? Listen, that is exactly what we're getting into today. But before we start this video, and this is really important, listen, I gotta say that if you've got a business of your own and you want to be spotlighted on this channel, hit me up, DM me, email me, and we can make that happen. But yeah, listen, at its core, Vercel is a cloud platform for, building, deploying, and hosting modern web applications. Listen, it is especially popular among front-end developers because it automates, a lot of the infrastructure work that used to be manual and complex. Listen, Vercel's main focus is on performance deployments and seamless developer experience. It integrates directly with your Git repos, generates preview deployments for every pull request, and handles builds automatically without ever touching servers yourself. And because Vercel created and maintains Next.js, the integration between the two is nearly flawless. That means, features like server-side rendering, for example, static site generation, all of that, API routes work out of the box. Listen, and one of the biggest strengths of Vercel is how fast you can actually go, from code to a live site. Listen, you push to GitHub, GitLab or Bitbucket, and Vercel automatically builds and deploys your project, with live previews for each change, and that all reduces back and forth, and speeds up collaboration across your whole team. Listen, these preview deployments are not static mockups. They're actually working versions, for your app, that you can share with QA, designers, or stakeholders before anything is even merged. Vercel also supports serverless functions and edge functions. Listen, letting you run backend logic or middleware, close to your users with minimal latency, close to none. And also performance is a cornerstone of Vercel's offering. It uses a global edge network, especially a worldwide CDN. Listen, to serve your app from locations closer to your users, and this improves load times and can have, a direct impact on metrics, like core web vitals, which Google uses for search rankings. So listen, Vercel also offers automatic image optimization, which dynamically serves, appropriately sized images, in modern formats without extra configuration. There's also a whole built-in analytics system that helps you to understand how real visitors, experience your sites without relying, on some heavy third-party scripts. And that means that you can track performance without slowing users down. And on the security side, Vercel includes automatic HTTPS and environment variable handling, giving you baseline protections, out of the box. Let me tell you, listen, why Vercel is so widely adopted? That is a really great question. Listen, for one, there's zero config deployments. You don't need to set up, servers or complicated pipelines manually. There's automatic previews for every change, which is great for team workflows. There's also seamless Next.js support, like I said, which is often cited, as best in class. That also the fast global performance thanks to the edge network, serverless and edge functions, for example, for backend logic. It all comes together, and like I said, you have real user analytics built into the platform. Listen, these features make it a solid choice for front-end developers, agencies and teams building modern JavaScript applications. Listen, Vercel is often used for Jamstack sites, for example, performance and SEO matters, and because, it integrates directly with Git and automates so much, you often see it in team environments, client projects, and fast-moving dev workflows. But yeah, listen, the free tier is generous for hobby projects, but scaling up can get a bit pricey, especially for business use or high traffic. And yeah, while talking about pricing, that is something we'll get into in a minute. But yeah, listen, it is also optimized for front-end frameworks, so if you need, let's say, traditional, server hosting, or extensive backend services, you might use Vercel, as a part of a stack rather than, the whole stack. So yeah, listen, All these are typical trade-offs, with any managed platform. I mean, you trade some control, for simplification, and there is nothing wrong with that. Listen, also when it comes to pricing, Vercel has a free tier, like I said, that works well, for personal projects, or some experimentation. But once you need, team features, advanced performance or higher build limits, for example, the Pro and the Enterprise plans kick in. But that's exactly where many teams find the value that outweighs, the cost. Listen, a lot of developers say that if your product relies on speed and performance, paying a bit for a platform that handles edge distribution, and CI/CD automation often saves you much more in time, and headaches than DIY hosting, for example. So, yeah, as you can see, the Pro plan is starting at $20 per month, and the Enterprise one is custom. But yeah, listen, if we're building, modern web applications, especially with React or Next.js, Vercel is one of the most polished deployment platforms out there today. Listen, it automates builds, previews, changes, in live environments, scales automatically, and gives you the performance tools, your users expect, without any deep infrastructure work on your end. So, listen, there are some trade-offs, like I said, pricing, control, backend flexibility, this stuff, but for many developers, and teams, the convenience and performance alone are a really strong win. So yeah, that is Vercel, a modern developer-centric platform, for rapid deployment and scalable web experiences. And yeah, that'll be it from today's video. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, consider leaving a like under this video. It really helps me out a lot to keep coming back with those projects to you guys. And yeah, this is really important. Like I said at the beginning, listen, if you've got a business of your own that you want featured on this channel, hit me up, email me, and we can make that happen. But yeah, with that being said, see you in the next one, and peace.